I want to believe that is what I was trying to pass to the medical doctors that were here the other time, that there are actually standards, there are actually formats of which we Nigerians especially we fail to follow because some people that are above started this thing did not step it down to us. So I want to believe that whatever that at the fact, you know, we were about arguing on this science that is being used to have our diagnosis, you know. Initially they were arguing that no, this thing is there, but when I now started mentioning that INP is for impression, ASS is for assessment, then this triangular sign so is to be used for diagnosis. So it's not then that they now believe that okay, you are right, but we are using these terms interchangeably because we could not follow the standard, and we were told that yesterday that you cannot follow what you don't actually know, and it's because these people did not know. Now they intend to follow what they have been taught. Then, okay, I think this is where I will stop presentation with this second explore clinical documentation formats and requirements. So, what is medical records documentation? That is not something we're supposed to be talking about here now. I believe we all know that, but medical record documentation refers to the process of creating, maintaining, and updating written or electronic records that detail a patient's medical history, diagnosis, treatment, test results, medications, and other relevant health information. Other relevant health information, meaning that your documentation, you know, when we are talking about clinical documentation, it starts from what? Demographical data, the data of the patient. Those are the things that forms. Now, if you just start with a 59-year-old woman being managed for, you have omitted a lot of things. That is how they will write. They will not jump to plan. They just write the drug out or the test result that will be requested for. So it must have all of this. A clinical documentation, a record documentation, medical record documentation must have this. Is a process. Is a process whereby is a process that has to link. It has a linkage from one step to the another, from one process to the another. If one is missing from the in the middle or from the beginning, maybe you didn't start well, or you didn't finish it well, or there are some middle processes that you have omitted, then it is incomplete. That is when we'll be having problems. So it's a process that must be duly followed and updating, written. You know, when Mrs. Cecilia was teaching the other time, said, if they raise a query, if a query is being raised, a reply has been gotten from the physician, there will be an update on the record, meaning that a patient that is being in the hospital, on admission, each of the daily assessment must be well documented. So to say, let me say this, in lawsuit, you will see that if 20 physicians is writing for a patient, on a patient, they will that 20, you will see 18 writing the same thing. 18 will write the same thing. You will be wondering that, is he copying this person? And actually, that is what they do. They will just be copying the next person, the last person that has written. They will copy the same thing. The same thing. In fact, I will begin to wonder that those that they do not really have a very legible handwriting, they will draw. I believe that they draw. I call it drawing. They draw the other person's writing. So what is the importance of, we have talked about all of these things, so I won't waste time of this. Importance of standard. Medical record documentation is essential for quality care, legal compliance, and accurate reimbursement, ensuring that healthcare delivery is safe, consistent, and legally sound. So I don't want to buttress on all of this. Then under that, we have the continuity and quality of care. We have the legal protection. We have the compliance and accreditation. Those are the reasons why we must have a standard. Why we must have a standard. So, you know, when we already have a standard, and I believe somebody was saying in the morning, okay, I think it's Mr. Motosho, that there should be a law. I now added to it that once there is a law to safeguard this thing, then there will be a consequences, there will be a punishment to whosoever did not follow this process, the process. So on that, we have talked about continuity and quality of care. If there is a standard, we know how it contributes to the care of the patient. If we have a standard, we know how there will be a legal protection in terms of our confidentiality. If there is a standard, then we'll have a compliance, full compliance and accreditation. Then we still have about 3 more. Then billing and reimbursement, we know how to do that when there is a standard. The same billing that will be done here in Owo, it will be the same thing that will be followed in Lasut, Lagos. The same thing that will be done, UBTH. The same thing that will be done. Where have I not mentioned? Okay. So then data for research and public health. When we have a standard, you know, the uniqueness in our data presentation will be there. It will be there. There won't be any problem. In fact, I will be able to access. Okay. I think I'm delving more into EHR now. So I think I will have access to data. I will be able to compare the data of in this place with that of, because we have a common language that we are speaking. We already have a standard. You know, when the doctors are talking the other time, they were saying, no, it cannot be. And it is so. Why Lasut could come up with their own process is because there's not a standard. And meanwhile, let me say, even if there's a standard, they have not been following it. So, then patient safety, clear, complete, and timely documentation reduces medical errors and improves patient outcome. These are the things that they don't really know. That it contributes to patient outcome. It ensures critical information is communicated during transitions of care. This that I'm saying that they copy each of their write-ups. I might see something that the previous doctor did not observe, or a little changes that the patient did not have. You understand? So let's quickly. Now, what are the core principles of medical record documentation? They are accuracy, timeliness. We have talked about all this yesterday. Completeness, legibility, authentication, confidentiality, and continuity. Those are the core principles of medical record documentation. Now, let us move to the core format and requirement of clinical documentation. The first one I listed here is the most common one that we have, and that is the SOAP note format. SOAP note format. I said this is widely used in clinical setting. I now put especially for outpatient care. So I needed to, when I'm providing for outpatient care, immediately in my brain, I already know that I must prepare for inpatient. So I will balance it all. So our questions will not stone me and send me back to Lagos. So what is the S? Subjective. The information reported by the patient, that is symptoms, pain level, history in their own words. Yes, yeah. Okay. Okay. So those are the information that are written under the subjective format of this note. Then the other one is the objective. This is where we have the observation and measurable data. The physician's observation and measurable data. And that's under where we have our vital signs, physical exam findings, lab results. They will be listed under this objective. Then the assessment, the clinical interpretation or diagnosis based on subjective and objective. The combination of these two, what did they bring out? What did they burn out? Is what we have as our assessment. Then the last one, plan. The treatment plan follows follow-up steps, referral, medications, or further tests. This is what we have under our plan. So it has been arranged. You remember I said that this is especially used for our patient care, especially, not that they don't use it at all for the inpatient, but it is majorly built for the next slide. For the yes, that's why I said that I have prepared. I don't want to be stoned now. To close there.
Right.
Okay, I think we have got some. Okay. This is another format. DAP note. This is another format. DAP note, but this one now, DAP note are structured format used in clinical documentation, especially in mental health and social work. This DAP note is majorly created for the mental health department and social workers. So this is the note that they use in that, most of these people, they don't, but we are saying it now that especially in mental health and social work, to document patient sessions clearly and concisely. Their own consultation, we call them sessions. Sessions, you book sessions. It is, I think, another department that use sessions is the physiotherapy. Then what does the D stand for? It stands for data or description, but mostly it is data. I just have to put it in case we saw it somewhere else, we'll be able to know that, okay, he said that it's also a description. Under it, the objective and subjective observation is what you document under this data. What the patient says, the behavior observed, the mood, the effects, and relevant environment factor. Now, look at the way that they can document this. Patient reported feeling anxious about returning to work, appeared restless, avoided eye contact, and spoke rapidly. It has captured the objective earlier on. And this is the analysis. Just the summary of whatsoever thing that have been said. Then the A stands for the same assessment as we have it in SOAP. Your clinical impressions and interpretation based on the data. Analyze what the data suggests about the patient condition or progress. Look at the example herein. Patient anxiety appears to be increasingly due to work-related stressors. Insight into coping skills remain limited. This one has already given us the limit. It has analyzed and it has shown what the patient has. Then the last one, the P rather, that's the plan. This shows us the next step, interventions, goals, what you or the patient will do between the now and the next session.
So just to cut in, you're not the ones
to write this down.
You're not the ones to. I think it's very because you're not tracking anything.
No.
The doctors, but you are the one. At least when you are reading through the clinical documentation, you know what data you are looking for. You are using the DAP note. You know what your subjective information is, objective, and how you can be able to read, to pinpoint what you need, or you be able to do the accurate coding. I don't know if that makes sense. That is why you are going through this. So it is the doctors that does this. I don't know if I think.
So now, when we did not get that, hold on, sorry. So when we are in addition to what you have said, we'll be able to know. We are already looking for, especially we that are working now at the mental department, psychology department. We already know that, I'm looking for so something. If it's not now available, we make a request. This is outpatient. Now, this one is majorly used for our the H&P means the history and physical. They are comprehensive documents that provide a detailed account of a patient's medical history and the result of their physical examination. This one has a well comprehensive because you are staying with the patient. The patient must have stayed with you more than from 24 hours upward. So you have a comprehensive documentation. These notes are typically written by a healthcare provider, often a physician, at the time of a patient's admission to a hospital or healthcare facility. Now, what are the components of this H&P? The component I just needed to extract because it's too voluminous. So we have A, history. Under this H&P, we have history. The history section gathers all the relevant that was here. Then under it, this is it. Chief complaint, the CC, the history of patient illness, the HPI. The next one, past medical history, PMH, The next one, the medications, the allergies, family history, social history, review of systems. Those are the things that you see under the history part of the and physical.
And please, let's take those abbreviations. CC. You can see that in the...
They normally write CC instead of writing it in full. Yes. Yes. PMH. Yes.
So you know what to look out for.
The B part of it, the A. This is the B now. This is the physical examination, the PE. This section documents the clinician's findings from physical examining the patient. It typically includes the following. Now, under this, you see the following: the vital signs, the general appearance, the head, eye, ears, nose, and throat. That is HEENT. They write it mostly as this. Then the cardiovascular, we have the respiratory, the abdomen. Scroll down. The neurological, the musculoskeletal. Now the example under this. Sorry, go back. The example under is vitals. BP 140/90. Sorry. HR 90 BPM. Pressure is 98.6. Patient appears in moderate stress. Clear lung bilaterally. You see, we are trying to, in this example, I try to bring up all of this in one sentence, one line. Then the heart rate is regular, no more. You can see. So I've tried to compress all of this. So whenever you are reading through a patient that has gone through admissions like that, and you could not see all of this, then remember that you have to query.
No, not query.
Okay, sorry. You have to request. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to make a request. Now, the C part of it. The C, under the H and P.
What I'm trying to be careful with the word
query. They misuse it.
They have weaponized the word query. When you hear query, that they want to finish you.
Yes.
So that's why
you are facing a panel.
They have weaponized the word query. All right, go ahead, sir.
All right, the C part of it under the H and P notes. This section contains the clinician's diagnosis or working diagnosis based on the history and physical examination. That's the assessment part. Then the example, acute myocardial. Why do we use acute myocardial infarction these days? We use this morning. Acute myocardial infarction. Am I?
My prof, sir.
Prof.
With the look of things,
don't leave us, sir. Don't leave us, sir.
We have to, because from here to Ife, that's about 4 hours drive, I guess. And this is already 3 o'clock. That means that we are arriving around 7. And I think permits me to try. We are taking things for a photograph. And my school
Sir, please give me your attention. Before you leave, we'd like you to endorse the certificate for our people. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's appreciate it. Let's appreciate it.
So this is the example under the assessment, acute myocardial infarction, likely based on clinical presentation and risk factor. We couldn't come up with an exact because this is not a physical patient, it's just an absorption presentation. So the last part now, the plan, that's the D, the plan. The plan outlines the treatment, tests, and follow-up care. It may include documentation. Why I said it may, and I did not say it must. All of this might not be necessary to be part of the documentation. There might be omission of maybe the patient might not really needed to go through this diagnostic test. Do you understand? So that's why I said it may include, so that questions will not arise later. It may include. Ouch. Okay. It may include diagnostic tests, consultations, for and it is start 325 milligram. Test tray is being prescribed for this patient. go and do your ECG. Let's check that. Blood work. Cardiology consult. The patient has been referred to a cardiologist. Then follow up in 24 hours. I needed to prove this 24 hours because it's surprising at times when you see a patient that has been discharged today and he has to visit the clinic tomorrow. So I initially asked that, why now did you discharge this patient when you know that it's coming tomorrow? Why can't you just leave him or her in the ward and come back tomorrow to check on him or her? So that's that. Then the last one that I'll be talking about is what we have been talking about since morning. And I think we have sorted that out, and thank God that we have actually sorted is the discharge summary. And what is the purpose of the discharge summary? A summary of the patient's stay, condition and discharge, and follow-up. I initially knew that we have sorted and we have really with this aspect, so we don't need to label ourselves again on this. So what is the content of the discharge summary? The diagnosis must be there, the treatment that was provided, what was the progress made, and future care recommendations.
So permit me to cut in so that we can release our very wonderful prof.
Okay.
We'll be handing over a certificate of completion of the let's appreciate it. Let's appreciate it. Just between the official signing and then we'll hand over so that we can release it. We can also still hand over the service to people who are going to take what it takes. I think that's fine. That's fine. Just
Okay.
Thank you. Wonderful. Fantastic individuals. Friendly faces. Let's allow people to
share contact so you can get his contact so that you can.
My contact is there. We share the own contact. The company is an open company. You check my name and I read the
I just hand over the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation and a wonderful and a big round of applause, let's appreciate and welcome so that we can hand over the certificate to Dr. Professor. Please let's continue. We thank you all we have here today. This is about 3 p.m. and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
wonderful people. Yes, I am.
Power. Power.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And support.
All right. So that was it.
Okay. Oh my, mommy, you see there, just close this. Okay. I think the discharge summary is the last part of this. So I've said this is the content. We don't need to go. We don't need to label ourselves again. So please, thank you very much. God bless.
Amen. Let's appreciate him. Thank you. Thank you. We are trying to make sure we don't leave anything untouched, and that's what we are trying to. Ma? No, we are not leaving that. I'm with you. Don't worry. And I have my. All right. So this has touched on the discharge summary and the content. You can see the purpose is a summary of the patient stay, the condition, the follow-up, the content.